Wow, dynamic. This is, what a vibe. What a vibe to walk into. This is lovely. I'll tell you what, if Shelly hadn't been keeping me hostage in her car for the last hour and a half, I would have been here earlier, but not a moment too soon. You all seem so lovely. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. If you didn't know this about me already, I was a leash kid growing up. I don't know if you could tell. Does everyone know what a leash kid is? Okay, I have to tell you to practice this part of the joke. Do I get to smile for the camera? I don't know if there's anyone, I probably wasn't supposed to look into the camera and smile. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard this part. But a leash kid is when you were 3 or 4 years old and you have a lot of ambition, right? Which might be undiagnosed ADHD. And your beautiful black mother, I don't know if many of you have one, can't have you running off into the clutches of whatever white man lay there waiting for you. So she tells you she's gonna put you in a backpack, standard kid stuff, but it has a leash attached to it, right? And the way I found out I was a leash kid was fairly recently. I was in my 20s when I found out. I'm still in my 20s, obviously. And I saw a white child acting up on a leash, as they do, and I turned to my beautiful black mother. I said, "Ha, mama," because that's how I talk to my mother. I said, "Ha, mama, only white children are leash children." No. High and mighty. And she turns to me, she goes, "No, baby." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she takes me home, very real interaction, right? Very real Polaroid picture of me in a monkey backpack, and she's holding me at length, laughing her ass off. And I turn to my beautiful black father, who is not innocent in all this. Let me tell you something right here, right now. I'm highly allergic to peanuts, right? Which feels anti-black. This man took me to a Texas roadhouse. And I turned to my beautiful black father. I said, "Daddy, I don't feel good." And he goes, "I wonder why." That man took the Polaroid picture of me in a backpack, and I said, "How could you let that woman do that to me?" And he tells me that the neighborhood was outraged, right? That I don't know if many of you have an older black woman in your life who might say something like, "Why that baby ain't got no clothes on?" I'm pretty sure it was something like, "Why that baby got a leash on?" So they had to take me off of it, and I get in trouble telling this joke a lot. It's my favorite thing, my favorite fun fact about myself, because it's very odd. I had another black comedian come up to me, and he was like, "You need your black card removed for ever having been a leash kid." Because that's how men talk to me. Very true. When I can't think of anything more black, right? More African American than having been emancipated from chains. And I've been traveling a lot doing comedy. I'm very lucky to do what I do. And for the first time in a long time, I saw a child on a leash, right? She was very beautiful. And she was trying to scale this vending machine so bad. And I knew she wanted it. Whatever was on top of it, I wanted it too, right? And her mother just kept reeling her back in, chaining her. And I understood her mission. I wanted to free her so bad, but I couldn't because you can't have knives in airports. But what I was able to do was to get down on her level and talk to her. And I said, "Baby girl, don't worry. You're gonna be a comedian." You know, I like to inspire hope a lot. I'm 24 right now, and 24 is the very special age when a girl has to think about her dowry, right? Like, "Daddy, how many chickens and goats are we going to get for my hand in marriage?" Right. But I turn 25 real soon. And 25 is the special age where you have to figure out if you want to be a girl that poops or a bitch that shits. Are there any... Right? Is anyone in here a bitch that shits? Hell yeah. I knew I was a bitch that shits because right now I work at a pizzeria and I like messing with people when they're high. Anybody else? Cool. Who in here smokes weed? I said this is a comedy show. Who in here smokes weed? That's cool. I don't. I was bad at it. I know. no, boo. I was bad at it. And people like to come up to me after shows and be like, oh, you're bad at smoking weed. Let me give you some weed. Do you know how to light it? I know. I was cool in college, okay? I know that I know that the bong goes up your ass and you drink the water afterwards, right? I was cool in college. I smoked weed. When I say I'm bad at it, it means I would hallucinate and make everyone really uncomfortable. So I stopped. But I work in a pizzeria now, and I'm a bitch that shits. And when people come in a cloud full of weed, I like to tell them that they're smoking the devil's lettuce. I think it's a really good thing for you to just start telling your waitress when you're high. Okay, just go ahead and do her that favor. Because people will be standing in front of me, licking their lips, looking at the menu, looking back at me, and I'm like, what's going on? Right? I'm like, what's happening? But if you just tell me, hey man, I'm high, I don't know what I want, I'd be like, okay, well do you want the big pizza? Or the little pizza? It could all be so simple. But I have this regular that comes in high all the time. And recently, I just started saying, hey man, are you high? And they go, what? Ah! And when they calm down, I said, did you want something to drink? And it solves, thank you. And it solves everything. I get a giggle and now they get to breathe. I'm kind of going through this breakup. I'm not kind of going through anything. I'm going through this breakup. And I don't want to be a comedian who talks poorly about her ex, right? So I'm going to tell you something that I really liked about him. He was constantly accidentally funny, which is really, really funny when you're a man, right, fellas? You guys get it? Let me tell you something. When we first started dating, I said, hey, what's your type? And he's like, oh, I don't have a type, a boy. Typical, like, man response, right? But he said, actually, because he was so tall and pale and skinny, because I date white boys, but you knew that as soon as I started talking, because he was so tall and pale and skinny, he said, I don't like to date other people who are tall and pale and skinny, because I believe that 2 sticks make a fire. Like, that's so fucking, who thinks of that? He was very country. So I hear that and I'm giggling a little bit. I'm like, oh, no, that's so funny. But also in my girl brain, right, I go, oh, so you like short little fat girls, huh? And he goes, no, that's not what I mean, adoy. I said, you like short little fat girls, say it. And then he looks me in my eyes and comes harder than he's ever came in his entire life. So anyways, we're not together anymore. Which is fine. Something they don't tell you about dating a white person for the first time is that it's actually a lot of watching South Park. And I wasn't ready for that. Like, I was raised on a leash, but my mother had some decorum. You know what I mean? And he would be like, babe, why are you being so weird about this? I'm like, we just got sushi. You're 27. Why do you want to talk about poop, right? I'm eating. But he really did understand Black culture. I liked him a lot. He supported like small Black-owned businesses. He watched Black independent films. And for the month of February, he only ate Black-owned coochie, which he highly recommends. His skin looks amazing. Yo, this has been so much fun.